Zamcom Radio will respond to your complaint within 14 days.
We take every complaint seriously and aim to resolve issues promptly and efficiently.
Together, we make great radio.
Good morning. Welcome to Zamcom Radio on 100.1 FM. You're listening to the business show with Pelile. Our topic is Thrifting for Success, Revamping Fashion, the story of District 64. In studio with me is Donald Kifita, an entrepreneur and founder of District 64. Donald, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, listeners.
How do you feel being here?
I'm actually, I'm psyched actually. Thank you for having me. I'm really didn't expect it, but very thankful again. So thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Entrepreneurship is about finding opportunity in unexpected places. It's about turning passion into purpose. And it seems like you've done just that with District 64. What inspired you to start District 64?
It's funny that you actually the way you put it. That's a lovely way of putting it. But the real situation was that it wasn't so much of a very like grandiose adventure or pursuit. It was really more about trying to satisfy myself with what I had at the moment and being able to create something that I distinguished or identified as valuable for the people close to me. Yeah, which was actually the clothes and thrifting, I guess.
Okay. Now tell us more about your brand. What does District 64 do?
District 64 is, in a nutshell, it's a creative and thrifting business, which is facilitating creativity and entrepreneurship. So my main focus at the moment is being able to provide as much value as I can be able to the business that I have at the moment, which is thrifting and upcycling clothes and just customizing. So the creativity adds into that. Yeah.
And how do you source the clothes that you sell?
Yeah. So for thrifting, it's a very old I'd say area. Thrifting has been here for quite some time. So I normally do this like from town, and so I just source my items within Zambia. All my pieces are sourced from Lusaka and within different markets. So it could be intercity, it could be town, it could be Soweto, whichever area that I am able to find valuable. Because there's value in any environment so long as you look. So that's basically that's where I basically find my pieces. I source them locally from different markets within Lusaka. Yeah, at the moment, hopefully we do get big enough to go outside. Yeah.
Okay. So Donald,
Yeah.
District 64 is a unique brand name. How did you come up with the idea?
That's a very good question. And I was hoping you'd ask that question. Egotistically, I was really hoping that you'd ask that question. But so District 64 for me came at a time. Like I said, I was really just trying to find something that is like meaningful and useful to the people and myself. It came at a point when I was still in high school, and back in high school, I had an issue to say. I really had an issue with myself. Like I wasn't I guess content with myself, because I had a lot of friends who were very talented, and by talented I mean you could tell that these guys are talented, and mine wasn't like, my gift wasn't obvious. Like it wasn't obvious. Like being an entrepreneur is not something that you like identify easily. But for my friends it was like, you know how you have like friends who have these talents like so obvious, like singing, dancing, sports, all those things. I don't say that I never had like, I couldn't like excel in these other areas, but I was almost like averaging like in every area, and I never had one single thing that was like sort of outshining everything else. So yeah, I did see with myself and tried to find something that could really like speak to me. And I remember doing some research online, like trying to see what the world has outside. like something that I could find. Maybe it's outside there. So I didn't really, that wasn't successful anyways. It wasn't so successful. But I did come across a lot of individuals who are really entrepreneur and are very adventurous, I guess. So yeah, District 64 was my attempt to branch out and just accept that I didn't really have one particular thing, but I did embrace the idea of creativity and just being able to have the freedom to do that, because I felt like at the point I was at, I didn't really have a lot of people who were actually championing that. It was mostly just individualistic talents, I should say. The same, dancing, singing, and everything. So my attempt was trying to like create something that's like very open-minded, and I stumbled upon the idea of having something that would give me that type of freedom, and so I came up with District 64, which was trying to create a community. By the way, District 64 is like a community to me. It's a community brand that sort of encapsulates and brings in these like different like diverse things. And yeah, so yeah, District 64 is really just that, a brand that like tries to give freedom to people who are able to like do so much, and trying to create that environment that like allows their interests to be pushed out there. So yeah, this is 64. And by the way, 64 comes from 1964, which is the year of our independence. And that was really the thing, like for me. That was really the thing, like having to use that, like to have that, like accepting that independent identity on myself, like being able to like do that for myself. So yeah, that's really that.
Okay, and do you like target to branch out in different provinces? What's your vision for your brand?
Yeah, actually, definitely. Wherever we are blessed, we'll definitely like move forward. That's the thing. Wherever opportunities like open to do as much good as we can possibly do. And I say we because I envision a team with myself. Currently, I'm actually doing this alone, but I've had a few people that I was working with before. So yeah, wherever the opportunity is, it's really about pushing it forward and being able to like have that like thing happen for us. So yeah.
Okay, so Donut, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's this thrift market that usually, I'm not sure when exactly, but I have friends who go to the thrift market at KK Mall whenever they have events, and different people who have different products to sell go there normally. So do you find yourself in such places sometimes?
I actually do. Like I'm very optimistic and very open-minded, to be honest. Sometimes it's a bad thing, but like I try to get out there and find as many people who can actually who I can actually work with, even just collaborating or learn from. So yeah, the thrift market is indeed a very good like place to interact and find different things. You can actually like work on different things. It's so big. It's funny now because back then it wasn't something that you'd talk about. Like thrifting wasn't really a thing you'd really be on the radio talking about. Like I didn't really hear anyone being on the radio talking about thrifting. But it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's a blessing to actually be able to like do this, and it's really something that I appreciate. So yeah, big ups to Mariam, by the way. She's the one like hosting the thrift market, so she's really doing a good thing. It's really like creating a community in its own on its own, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Okay, so Donald, I'm sure the people who would love to maybe sell the products at the thrift market. Now, for someone who doesn't know how, like the process of how to, like protocol, how to get there, how do you get a stand? Who do you see? What do you do?
Yeah. For that, like I'm pretty sure Marian has like a better way of explaining this, because she's the one who's in charge. So you reach out to the hosts. Don't hold yourself back thinking, what, these guys look like they've got like so much, they're going to charge me and everything. No, basically what we're trying to do, or what I believe Marian and her team are trying to do, or even every other person who's having the opportunity to host a thrift market. What we're trying to do basically is create opportunities for each other. Like create opportunities for the next person and the next person. And it doesn't have to be necessarily just on thrift. Like the thrift market has, like, it doesn't have to be necessarily on t-shirts, capes, or whatever, but like it has to be, just has to be something that like of value. Are you someone who seeks to add value to the community? Are you someone who wishes to at least be of value, to the community? And if that's the case, then interacting with these different communities or groups is like very important for you, because it's going to help you network with other people, find opportunities and brainstorm with other people, which is a very good thing if you're on this path of entrepreneurship in thrifting and upcycling stuff. So you need to like reach out to the hosts. That's the thing. Just be open to reaching out to the hosts. Like ask what is the way for, like, I'm pretty sure they have, because I have before the this thrift market that's here, I once reached out to one host who was doing another one, which was, I think, by Roma Park, I think somewhere there. It's basically like they just give you an amount. They tell you, okay, this is how much we're charging for vendors, right? And what you do is reach out, and they tell you the amount, of course. Then you either do it. Sometimes they offer options of you sort of joining with other individuals. This is why it's very important to be networking. So like you have the opportunity to work with another person where you come together, and then you put together an amount that you can like use. If the initial amount is like too big for you, you still have that, because the goal again is to create opportunities for each other. So yeah, it's an open business, an open space. You don't have to be holding yourself back, fearing that, okay, I don't have that much thingy. Try to find a way. Like, I'm pretty sure, I'm more than sure actually, there's a way that you can actually like be able to get through the market. Like if it's the thrift market, whichever market you're trying to like enter into, there's always a way. Yeah.
Okay. And do you like register online, or there's a particular place you have to go if you want to, um, let's say, secure a table to sell your products?
Of that, I'm not too sure, to be honest. That's the reason why I'm even sounding a little bit vague over it, because I haven't done that myself. Like, I haven't really gone out to engage with these hosts, right? But I've seen my friends, and I have friends that have been able to do that. So it's mostly just getting to, it could be a website, something, or I don't know what they've put out, but like it could be an advertisement. Like I recently saw something. And it's like they just put out an advert, and you contact them. It could be through WhatsApp. It could be as easy as calling someone, and through that you'll be able to like interact with the person. But there's nothing that's so like sophisticated. It's nothing sophisticated. Just getting through and communicating. What's important is that you reach an agreement with the person who's hosting. That way you can actually like be able to get through to these markets. But it's really an open space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Donald, earlier you mentioned you sell vintage thrifted clothes
Yeah.
and caps.
Yeah.
So I want to know what the typical process is of upcycling
Okay.
those products.
All right. So like I said, I thrift and I source my items within Zambia, like locally. So, but there are other means of like sourcing your own products. For me personally, like that's the way that I go through. I find it to be hassle free, at least. So, what I do is I collect the items. There's the collecting part. You go and collect the items from these markets, different vendors in the markets. You collect, you purchase. I don't mean just like getting, you buy. So you buy the item. So the buying again, let me just lay this out. The buying again works in different like stages. If you're just starting, of course, the price will probably like be strict for you. You won't have any negotiation because they don't know you. They can't trust you like that. And yeah, so you collect them from these people, the vendors. You collect from them, and usually these items, they're not in good condition. Like they're not in what's the word? They're not in that like sparkling like
So
condition.
do you normally treat them with certain
Yeah.
products like chemicals?
Yeah, you have to try at least get them in shape. Like that's the whole upcycling. You have to take the value up. Like you have to you have to upcycle. I don't have any other word for it, but like you have to upcycle. So you get these pieces that you've noticed and see potential in. You get them from the market, you purchase them, then you upcycle them. And upcycling happens also in different stages, just like the collection. So upcycling could be just cleaning them, having them clean, maybe taking them to the laundry, then like customizing or refining the item, like having your own spin to it, like add something, at least add something.
Like a logo.
Yeah, add a logo. So there's this thing that I just recently came across, which is white labeling. White labeling is really just getting someone's product, right, and having your own touch to it. You're not really getting in a partnership with them or anything, but like you just work with pushing that product, like because they've already been like certified, like those products have been certified and they're very like okay to the market. So you get those products, then you just like add your own touch to it. Yeah, it could be styling for girls, you add some glitters or whatever it is that you add, but just put some spice to it, like make it feel like it's like give it that value. Give it that value, give it that attention. Sometimes the product could be like the people who created the product initially, the original people who created the product could be, I don't know, to your own thinking, they might be inconsiderate of certain things, because for you, you might like it in a certain type of way, maybe certain size, so you can do that. So those are the things that you can do to add more value. So once you collect them now, there's also not just, which is the last part, which is like advertising and putting the product out there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you learn every day, and I've just learned something new.
Yeah.
White cycling. Am
Yeah,
I right?
white labeling.
White labeling.
Yeah.
Okay. So right about now, we're gonna go on a short break. Catch us after this break.
Okay.
Is your college or university struggling with slow administrative processes, scattered student records, or limited online learning? We provide everything from e-learning platforms to student information systems, digital library, and
Thank you very much. Thank you.
24/7 support.
Okay, welcome back to the show. You're listening to the Business Show with Pelile, and our topic is Thrifting for Success, Revamping Fashion, the story of District 64. And with me in studio is Donald Kifita. So, Donald Kifita, back to our conversation. How has your business grown since you started?
There has been like enough growth, to be honest, because I remember starting in 2022. That's when I actually took it very, very seriously, because before that I was really just doing it for fun and just satisfying me, myself, and the people around me. It wasn't really taking it as a business, as something that I could like feed off from, or even just like see opportunity far past my own like community. And so yeah, we grew from, I say we because at the time I was working with a few friends of mine, and from 2022 we were able to like raise enough money to put up a shack and a proper stand, like in my community where I was selling the clothes. It's still there. That's where I do most of my physical sales. And yeah, so from there on, I've been able to like make sales even to people that I didn't like imagine myself being able to like make sales to. I've been able to like sell things to artists, people who are like way outside my community. And for me, that has been much of my growth. It's not something that I take for granted, but like it's really big enough for me to understand and realize that it's working and it's helping a lot of people in my community.
Okay. So, given the current economic situation in Zambia, what challenges do you face in running your business, and how do you adapt to the economic changes and challenges?
Yeah. Well, our situation is really like Zambian, the Zambian situation, like the current situation that we're in right now is it's not so much Zambian alone, because it's really like the whole world is like going through different ups and downs, like economically, financially, like it's happening everywhere. And so for me, I personally don't try to focus that much on the negatives or even the difficult issues that are going around. I try to put myself in a place where I'm able to like fulfill that uh, service and value provision that I've set out to fulfill. So mostly, I'm not saying that there are no like challenges. Challenges are there. Like I'm just choosing not to like really focus on them as much. So one of the issues could be electricity. Like the way it is now, it's like you can't really bet your business on the current situation of electricity. You have to be very creative. You have to create and innovate. You have to be innovative as well. Like you have to try by all means to lean more onto your own abilities than on the resources outside of you. That's one thing that I really really do cherish, because that has helped me a lot. And just placing my dependency or focus on the outside could be very disabling, I'd say. Like, it would actually like stop me from doing a lot of things. So I try not to like focus on what's outside of me. I try to focus on what I have. And so yeah, in case, let's say, because like the online thing, like that's a major part of why I do like what I do, by the way. It's because once I was inspired by people who are actually like were able to connect via a phone. The time I was trying to come up with something, the time I was looking for what is basically like my purpose, like the time I was actually like looking for something to really work on, I went to a phone. I didn't go to any other, because like the people around me, like let's say my parents, my guardians and everyone, they have issues that they're actually like going through themselves, and they're invested in those issues. Not saying that they cannot help or give an ear to what you're going through, but like I feel like we've been given tools at this point that not only allow us to have the ability to create more opportunities, but are able to directly impact our lives if we only focus on them. Like they're able to help you personally and help the community outside there, only if we focus on those opportunities. It has been like a huge impact that like we've experienced, especially for me on my side, because I had to stop the physical thing, the physical selling. Like I had to stop at some point because I was unable to keep up with the demand. I was unable to fulfill my sales, because I have to get the items, and after getting the items as well, I have to now have them like cleaned up and then steamed again. So the steaming part, which was affected by the electric thingy, had to like stop now. Had to stop, and then from there on, yeah. So I had to just like find something else, strategize in a different way, and that was the thing that I came up with, which is just like buying other things, like investing in solar stuff. All those things like help out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that you started this thrift business in 2022.
Yeah.
And I just want to find out, what has been the biggest surprise about running your own business as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so running my own business as an entrepreneur, I think the most surprising thing has been, like, how business is like, okay, business for me, from the point I was at before I actually like started the business thing, I really looked at businesses as something more on the financial stuff, like more on the financial entrepreneur stuff, of which is true. Like it really requires that you sharpen your financial skills, your entrepreneurial skills, like it really does. But there's an area that I think most people don't talk about, which is like the spiritual side. And for me, that has been something that like really has been kind of like I don't want to say a shock, but like it's been an area that wasn't like planned for. Like I didn't really see like like to this point, because now I look at business from a very different narrative, from from where I was at first to now, like it's very different. It requires my presence, like me being there really, like spiritually, like it really does. Like I have to be there, like if I'm not doing good, like if I'm really not doing good, the business doesn't do good. That's the thing. And you just have to like be connected. You have to understand, because like business is like every business person or entrepreneur, these people are very like spiritual. Some of them just don't realize it, like they're very very spiritual. And they're spiritual because the demands that like a business like have require you to like move in a path that like is very lonely sometimes. Like you really have to be someone who's able to stand on your own. Like you have to be someone who's able to stand. You can't really look towards someone else for help, for guidance. Sometimes you just really need to walk that path that like is like your own. That's the only way you get to like move forward. That's the only way you get to grow actually. So that's one thing. That's a major part anyways of like the business. Something that like I've really that has really like surprised me in the business area.
Okay. I like the fact that you've mentioned spirituality.
Yeah.
Spirituality and business do go hand in hand, because when we read the scriptures, there are principles about how we ought to run our businesses. Now, in the book of Proverbs, not sure exactly which verse, but there is a scripture that specifically talks about being honest with your dealings.
Yes.
Like when money is handed over to you, you're not supposed to steal it, or you're not supposed to trick your clients into maybe paying way more than they should.
Exactly.
Because that's
Yeah.
stealing. And when you're not honest in business, definitely your business eventually starts to go down. So
That's
I love
very
the
true.
fact that you've brought in spirituality. That's very good.
Because I also want to add this because like when starting there was this knowing that I had, of course, which was about faith, like having faith and being able to like multiply and get from point A to point B. It requires faith, and the passage is coming from where okay my perspective was coming from this passage in the Bible of the talents, parable of the talents, which is in I think the book of Matthew, if the Gospels. I think I'm not sure honestly. I might be misquoting this. Please do check me. But like it's in the Bible, and it does outline how faith has huge role in multiplication and growing wealth, or growing as a person. Like having faith does help a lot. And when you speak of faith, we're talking about spirituality. We're talking about your faith in God, your faith in a greater being, a greater power. Like that's basically that. So being on this path, you really have to sharpen your spirit. Like you need to sharpen your, like strengthen your relationship with God. You really have to, because you will walk on paths that like it will just be you. It will just be you, and it's required for you to be there alone. Like it's for you to walk in those paths alone. It's not a condemnation or anything like that. It's actually a path for you to be. It's more like
Solitude, time for you
exactly.
to
It's like
grow.
promotion is on the way. Like that's the path you have to walk through, and you only get there if you really do get there. And if you're like it you can't really sugarcoat it. You can't sugarcoat it. You have to walk the talk. Actually, you have to walk the talk and be there. Yeah.
Okay. So, Donald, I want to find out from you. Have you been able to create any job opportunities for others through your business?
Yeah. I have, and like I said though, currently I'm working alone, and there's a reason why I'm working alone right now. But before I was actually working with other people and had I had someone who was in my community that I actually employed to work with me, and he's a friend of mine. He's someone who's been there, and I trusted him, and he worked for me for I don't know how long that was. Should be like I think it was just months, and it was like, I think 6 months, like, so it wasn't that big. It wasn't like big, but like it was something that I learned from, and it's something that I do look forward to. Currently, I'm not working with anyone, and there's a reason. The reason is I was re-strategizing on what to offer, and the products and everything, how to just go about my business, and I didn't want to inconvenience any person by having them when the vision is not that clear. So that was the reason why I had to like let go of a lot of people at some point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right about now, we are going to go on a short break. Catch us after this break.
Join us every Tuesday